Hi, this is video 2 on chronic pain. My name is Ann Alton, coming to you from the Kirk Center for Healthy Living. This is my costume change. Doing these in one day. So today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what we call peripheral sensitization. Okay, that's a fancy term for sensitive nerve endings out in your body. Okay. Basically, when we get injured, the brain puts in extra sensors. Now, it makes sense. If you break your arm, brain really wants to know what's happening. So it'll put in extra sensors to figure out like exactly what's happening, what the area needs, how to respond to it. It'll make it a little more sensitive to you so you don't move it as much, to protect it. And, so that's what it does. Sometimes those nerve endings don't get taken down. And we don't know why. Okay, but sometimes those nerve endings don't get taken down, and so that means that particular area is extra sensitive. Okay, and that's what we mean by peripheral sensitization. Basically, we can do some things to decrease the sensitization. Touch, reprogramming the area with touch, massage, manual therapy, that works really well for some. It works really well as a component of an entire issue, an entire plan. We also can do exercise to decrease the sensitization. We can measure two things when we do this. We measure pain and fatigue. Pain, we want a simple yes or no answer, okay? So if you say, well, this kind of, no, that's a yes, that hurts, okay? We want something that doesn't hurt at all. So I want, no, that doesn't hurt. Why would that hurt? Okay? And then we want to be able to do that 15 times for 3 sets, okay, before we increase and add intensity to it, add weight, add resistance to it, okay? And the idea behind that is that we use that particular muscle so many times that we're not using certain ones of those extra nerve endings. And the body eventually will say, hey, you know what? We haven't used that in a while. I don't think we need that anymore. Let's just take that down, not put it back up. Let's use that resource somewhere else. Okay. And we also measure fatigue. So fatigue would be high, medium, or low, or no fatigue. Okay. We want you generally at low fatigue, no fatigue, maybe moderate. Okay. Moderate is where you can stop. I don't want you at high fatigue because that will make your body mad and you'll have a flare-up the next day. Guaranteed. Been there, done that. Can confirm. So we monitor for fatigue. So as you're doing those sets of 15, if you start to get tired and you're like, oh, you can stop. High fatigue is, I almost can't finish this set. Okay. Again, we don't want you there. These exercises are basically really low level exercises. And you're like, why am I doing these? Like, I can squeeze my thigh muscle, but again, the idea is we're using that muscle with those nerve endings around, not setting those nerve endings off so that the body will say, oh, we haven't used that. And it's safe to use this muscle. So we're going to just take down that nerve ending because they get replaced every 48 hours. So we're going to just take down this nerve ending and not put it back up. Okay. Sometimes this can take, 6 months at the same level before the brain decides, oh, we're not using that. It's okay. Sometimes it happens fairly soon after starting the program. It just depends on a lot of factors. So again, we're aiming at 3 sets of 15 before we add any kind of resistance, and you start all over again. You start with a set of 15. If you can only get to 5 before you get fatigued, fine, stop. Wait a day, do it again. So 48 hours, okay? This is not strength. This is not strength training. This is neural endurance, okay? This is teaching our nerves how to have endurance, to put up with a certain muscle being used for a great amount of time, okay? So that we can walk around and do our daily activities all day and not be in excruciating pain at the end of the night, okay? We typically target the large muscle groups. And the reason why we do this is like the biceps, triceps, quads, but typically why we do that is because those are the muscles where the blood flow and resources are sent during fight or flight. Pain is danger, so that sets off a fight or flight response in our body. So we typically use those muscles. We may as well use those resources. However, in some people, that hurts. So we go further away from the pain area. Then we use our hands. Well, that doesn't hurt at all. This doesn't hurt at all. Okay, great. Do those. Once that starts to get desensitized, then we can move closer to wherever the chronic pain location is, whether it's neck, low back, whatever. Basically, as I was saying before, we can hit a plateau where for a long period of time, we don't seem to be getting anywhere. And again, it just, it depends on a myriad of factors where the body and the brain just don't trust that we're not going to need those extra nerve endings. And it may be just because you've been injured there a bunch of times, or it may be that you've been in pain there for 20 years. Okay, so we can hit a plateau, but I've seen people hit that plateau, get over that plateau, like they can't do more than one set of 15 leg raises before they start to poop out and get tired. And then they break through that plateau, and 2 weeks later, they're doing, 3 sets of 15 of 45-pound leg weight. Again, it's not strength, it's neural endurance. And once we retrain those nerves and get those extra sensory endings replaced, or not replaced, but taken down, we're good to go, okay? So that's peripheral sensitization, which is something that definitely plays into a chronic pain situation. So we have peripheral sensitization, we get that information sent up to our brain, and our brain decides, is this dangerous? So if our bodies are super sensitive because we have extra nerve endings, we're going to have more information to send up to the brain. The brain's going to go, oh, yeah, must be pretty important. We're getting a lot of information. So anyway, so that's one way that we can work through that peripheral sensitization, okay? And that's one component that goes into chronic pain. And thanks for listening. I hope to see you next time. Thanks.